Linux is not just an operating system anymore, it's a movement. And before you jump into the comments calling me AI, just know this: I'm a real-time human sharing real thoughts, so keep it real down there. What's happening right now in the world of operating systems feels like a quiet revolution, the kind that doesn't make noise immediately but changes everything once it settles in. For years, Windows dominated the personal computing space so completely that most people didn't even question it. It was simply the default, the expected, the unavoidable choice. But something has shifted, and that shift is not just about performance benchmarks or user interfaces. It's about philosophy, control, and the future direction of technology itself.
When you look at Linux today, it's no longer the complicated command-line-only system that people once feared. It has evolved into something incredibly powerful, yet surprisingly accessible. Distributions like Ubuntu, Fedora, and Arch have matured in ways that challenge the very idea that Windows is necessary for everyday users. But this isn't just about replacing one operating system with another. Linux has crossed a line that Windows fundamentally cannot follow, and that line is openness combined with adaptability at a scale that proprietary systems simply can't replicate. The core difference lies in how these systems are built and who controls them. Windows is owned, developed, and directed by Microsoft, which means every decision ultimately serves a centralized vision. That's not inherently bad, but it creates limitations. Linux, on the other hand, is open source, meaning it is shaped by thousands of contributors across the globe. This decentralized model allows Linux to evolve in ways that are faster, more experimental, and often more aligned with real user needs rather than corporate priorities. Think about it like this. Windows is a product, while Linux is an ecosystem. And ecosystems grow in ways products cannot. They adapt, diversify, and respond to changes organically. This is why Linux has become the backbone of modern computing infrastructure. From servers to supercomputers, from smartphones to cloud platforms, Linux is everywhere. Android, which powers billions of devices, is built on the Linux kernel. The internet itself runs largely on Linux-based servers. So when we talk about the future of operating systems, we're not speculating, we're observing something that is already happening. What's truly fascinating is how Linux has started to move into areas where Windows once felt untouchable. Gaming, for example, was long considered a major weakness for Linux. But with advancements like Proton and the support from companies like Valve, Linux gaming has improved dramatically. Games that once required Windows now run smoothly on Linux systems, sometimes even better. This is a clear sign that the gap is closing, and in some cases, disappearing entirely. Another major factor is privacy. In a world where data has become one of the most valuable resources, users are becoming more aware of how their information is collected and used. Windows, being a proprietary system, includes telemetry and data collection features that many users find intrusive. Linux, by contrast, offers transparency. You can see exactly what the system is doing, modify it, or remove anything you don't like. This level of control is something Windows simply cannot offer without fundamentally changing its business model. And that brings us to the line that Linux has crossed. It's not just about being an alternative anymore, it's about redefining what an operating system should be. Linux empowers users in a way that Windows never has. It treats users not as consumers, but as participants. You're not just using Linux, you're part of its evolution. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful, especially as more people become interested in customization, learning, and digital independence. Performance is another area where Linux shines. Because it's modular, you can tailor it to run exactly how you want. Whether you're using a lightweight distro for an old laptop or a high-performance setup for development, Linux can adapt. Windows, in contrast, is designed to work across a wide range of systems with a one-size-fits-all approach. While that makes it convenient, it also means it carries a lot of overhead that many users don't need. Security is also a key advantage. Linux systems are generally considered more secure due to their architecture and the way permissions are handled. Updates are frequent and often community-reviewed, which reduces the risk of vulnerabilities going unnoticed. Windows, being a larger target due to its widespread use, faces more frequent attacks and requires constant patching. But beyond all these technical advantages, there's something deeper happening. Linux represents a shift in how we think about technology ownership. In the past, users were content to buy software, and accept whatever limitations came with it. Today, there's a growing demand for control, transparency, and freedom. Linux aligns perfectly with these values, which is why its popularity continues to grow. Developers, in particular, are driving this shift. Many modern tools and platforms are built with Linux in mind. From Docker to Kubernetes, from programming languages to deployment environments, Linux is often the preferred choice. This creates a feedback loop where more tools support Linux, which attracts more users, which in turn encourages further development. Education is another area where Linux is making an impact. Students and learners are increasingly turning to Linux to understand how systems work at a deeper level. Because it's open source, it provides an unparalleled opportunity to explore and experiment. This is something Windows cannot offer to the same extent. Even in the corporate world, Linux is gaining ground. Companies are adopting it not just for servers, but for workstations as well. The cost savings, combined with flexibility and security, make it an attractive option. As more organizations make the switch, the ecosystem continues to strengthen. So what does this mean for Windows? It's not going anywhere anytime soon. It still has a massive user base and strong integration with many applications and services. But it's facing a challenge that it cannot fully counter. The rise of Linux is not just competition, it's a paradigm shift. It's changing the rules of the game. Windows operates within the constraints of being a commercial product. It has to generate revenue, maintain compatibility, and cater to a broad audience. Linux, being open source, doesn't have these constraints. It can evolve freely, experiment boldly, and prioritize innovation over profit. This difference becomes more apparent as technology continues to evolve. With the rise of cloud computing, edge computing, and AI, the need for flexible, scalable systems is greater than ever. Linux is perfectly positioned to meet these demands. Its modular nature and strong community support make it ideal for cutting-edge applications. Another interesting trend is the rise of hybrid environments. Many users are no longer tied to a single operating system. They use Linux for development, Windows for specific applications, and maybe even macOS for design. This flexibility further reduces the dominance of any single platform. As we look to the future, it's clear that the role of operating systems is changing. They are becoming less about the interface and more about the underlying capabilities. In this context, Linux has a significant advantage. Its focus on performance, customization, and openness aligns with the direction technology is heading. The question is not whether Linux will replace Windows entirely. The real question is how much of the future will be shaped by the principles that Linux represents. Openness, collaboration, and user empowerment are no longer niche ideas. They are becoming mainstream expectations. And that's why Linux crossing this line matters so much. It's not just a technical milestone, it's a cultural one. It signals a shift in power from corporations to communities, from closed systems to open ones, from passive usage to active participation. For anyone watching this space, it's an exciting time. The choices we have today are more diverse and powerful than ever before. Whether you're a casual user, a developer, or a business owner, understanding these changes can help you make better decisions about the tools you use. At the end of the day, the future of operating systems is not about one winner taking all. It's about evolution. And right now, Linux is leading that evolution in a way that Windows simply cannot follow without becoming something entirely different. So the next time you think about operating systems, don't just think about what you're used to. Think about what's possible. Because the line has been crossed and there's no going back.